Yo, what is going on YouTube, man? I got my mock draft. I wanted to expand my creative horizons. I'm gonna give y'all a mock draft. It's gonna have trades and all this, that, and the third. I'm obviously a Broncos fan. This is how I think the draft's gonna go. I do not have any internal sources. I don't have any sources at all. I'm not connected with any of these prospects. I'm not connected with any of these teams or basically anything that knows like behind the scenes more than y'all know. This is just a mock draft because I'm a football fan. I like creating mocks for fun, so I thought I'll give y'all a mock. This mock is gonna have realistic trades, in my personal opinion, that I could see happening. I'm gonna try to keep this, like I said, kind of realistic, but I also want it to be authentic. So with that being said, we're gonna put it right here, and we're gonna get into the first overall pick of my mock draft. I don't think Cam Ward is the first or like the best prospect in the whole class. I think that would be Abdul Carter, obviously, but the Titans are obviously gonna go quarterback in. What everyone else is agreeing with, I think the Titans are going to go Cam Ward. After seeing that little video of Cam Ward saying the best receiver in the NFL is Calvin Ridley, the best running backs in the NFL is Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. I think he's just doing everything he wants so he could be the number one overall pick. I think that is actually going to happen. Now, far with the Browns, as you guys can see, their number one need is quarterback. I don't personally think they're going to go quarterback in the first round or with the second overall pick, with that being said. So I think they are going to go Abdul Carter. I know people have them going also Travis Hunter, but I feel like pairing Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett just would honestly be a really nasty tandem. So I got them selecting Abdul Carter, but I can see them going Travis Hunter, and maybe, just maybe, they do take Shedeur Sanders, but I personally just don't see it happening. And now with the third pick, I've seen also people say here the Giants could take Shedeur. I think the Giants do need a quarterback for the future. I mean, obviously they got Russ and Jameis, but I think they are new with Travis. Just get the best player available. It's Travis Hunter, bro. Generational player, bro. Plays both sides of the balls. Now, if he wants to play cornerback or mainly receiver, that's up to him and the Giants to figure it all out. But I think the Giants will go Travis Hunter. It's a pretty no-brainer for me, if you ask me. So with that being said, I have the Giants going Travis Hunter. Now for the Patriots, I think the Patriots pick is a lock. Now the Patriots, I seen someone say the Panthers might want to trade up with the Panthers might want to trade up with the Patriots so they can select a player like Mason Graham, which honestly would be a pretty good move for the Panthers. But unfortunately, I just don't think the Patriots are going to pass on Will Campbell, franchise tackle for their franchise quarterback, probably the best offensive lineman in the class. I'm not really familiar with many of the offensive lineman prospects, but unfortunately, I just think like it's a slam dunk pick. I don't have any picks in the top five. I do think the Jags are going to go Mason Graham. I've seen them. Mox had them taking a receiver, Ted, or a tight end, Tyler Warren. But when you have a physical, bro, this Mason Graham is a top 3 prospect in the draft, in my opinion. Their number one need, according to this website, which is Pro Football Sports Network, is a D tackle. So why not get the best D tackle who's also a top 3 player in the class? So with that being said, I think that's where they are actually going to go. Now for this one, the Raiders, man, I've seen they've been mocked for Ashley G&T. They've been mocked for short Sanders. They've even been mocked for Tet McMillan. Even I seen one mock had him with Will Johnson. And this is where I think Shedeur Sanders does go. I seen people holding out. Hopefully he goes to the Saints. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's gonna go to the Saints. I think he's gonna go to the Raiders. I think he's gonna go to the big city. With that being said, so I have the Raiders selected Shedeur. I could also see him going Ashley G&T or maybe trading back for a team that wants Shedeur like the Steelers. But unfortunately, for Shedeur, because the Raiders suck, I think Shedeur is going to be a Raider at pick 6. I'm not gonna lie, guys. If Mason Graham falls to the Jets at 7, I do think the Jets will select Mason Graham over Armand Membu. But with their number one need being a tackle, I think they are gonna select Armand Membu. He's the best offensive lineman prospect left in a very deep offensive lineman class. I've seen some people made the case that he might even be better than Will Campbell. Once again, I don't know offensive lineman prospects like that. I can't tell you what his strengths and weaknesses is, but according to Armand Membu and according to multiple people, he's a really good player. So if the Jets need him, I feel like they're going to go offensive tackle 2 first rounds in a row, because last year they select the guy out of Penn State, Olanu Fushanu, if I'm not mistaken. So I have them going Armand Membu. So, guys, for this one, with the Panthers, bro, I love Will Johnson as a player out of Michigan, but they also need a receiver, Tet McMillan. Obviously, Mason Graham has been taken by the Jags in my hypothetical mock draft. So, what can I see the Panthers do? Maybe the Panthers trade up and get more picks, as they did get fleeced in the Bears trade. I was trying to see who would want to trade up in front of the Saints, maybe to get a player, but I don't see no one really trying to trade up. I don't see the Panthers trying to trade down. Like I said, this is a pretty solid cornerback class. The receivers are kind of deep in this class. So with that being said, I'm gonna actually have the Panthers selecting Will Johnson. J.C. Horton is one of the most. I think he is the highest paid corner. He's always kind of banged up, so maybe get another guy who could be in there. I know Will Johnson has health concerns himself, but Will Johnson is just a really technically sound player. I could see the Panthers taking and now we have The ninth pick, actually, GNT is still on the board. The Bears are coming up, and then the 49ers are coming up. The Saints, I feel like realistically, will they trade down? Probably not. But I feel like the Saints should trade down maybe with a team like that needs an offensive tackle in Kelvin Banks, or maybe a team who wants Ted, or maybe a team who even wants Ashton GNT. So with that being said, I am going to have the Saints trading back. I do think they're going to use one of their second round picks, acquiring in a hypothetical trade with the 49ers, which is I have going here. I'm going to have them give it up 9 for pick 11 and pick 45. I don't know the exact trade details. I just think the 49ers could try to trade up in front of the Bears, and they don't try to trade in front of the Bears. So I'm going to make this trade work. I'll be right back. All right, so basically, guys, I had the Niners trade up. I don't think the Bears are going offensive lineman, but I feel like the Niners don't want to take the risk of the Bears trying to draft a player like Kelvin Banks. I think Kelvin Banks is a really sound player. And I know I said I don't know offensive lineman class prospects like that, but what I heard from Twitter and all sports, Kelvin Banks has all the potential to be a great player to pair with. I'm drawing blank Trent Williams. So with that being said, I have them going Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. I see him way earlier, even before the season started. Kelvin Banks was a top 5 pick. He fell down a little bit in my mock to 9, but I feel like Kelvin Banks is a really sound player. The Niners need to protect their future $50 to $60 million quarterback in Brock Purdy. So I have the Niners selected Kelvin Banks. And now, Bears fans, I know they want more players. They want different players, but I got the Bears going Ashton GNT, bro. He said that the Raiders or Broncos did the most research on him, but I feel like if GNT falls past the Raiders or past maybe the Saints, I feel like Ashton GNT is a guaranteed lock to the Bears. If he doesn't go to the Bears, I see any of these teams possibly reaching on. Maybe besides the Dolphins, I don't think the Niners will go on. I don't even mean reach by that. Any disrespect to Ashton GNT. I just feel like Ashton GNT to the Bears. If he doesn't go to the Raiders, he's going to the Bears in the top 10. Unless the team trades up in front of the Bears, I feel like Ashton GNT to the Bears is just a slam dunk pick to help out Caleb Williams. He will be a great player for the Bears. Not saying he'll be the best Bears running back in history because they got a lot of grades, Walter Payton and others, but I feel like he will be a great running back who could be like one of the Bears' first good running backs since rookie Jordan Howard. I don't know if they have had any other good running backs. I know obviously they had Matt Forte and stuff like that, but I'm talking about as of late. So with that being said, let's get to the Saints. Saints could honestly go any position, honestly. There's one of those teams where they could just take best player available. And hypothetically, best player available in my mock is Tedor McMillan. He's projected to go 10. The Saints are at 11. I have the Saints going Tedor McMillan to pair with Chris Olave. You know, people like to say Derek Carr throws hospital passes. As a Broncos fan, I watched him cook my Broncos at the end of the Broncos, like, rebuild years for mad long. He's a pretty good quarterback. I got to give Derek Carr his props. I know he's not the best quarterback, but he's a solid quarterback. I have the Saints going Tedor McMillan, because I feel like pairing him with Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, when they're healthy, that's a receiver core that could be really nice. So with that being said, I have the Saints going Tedor McMillan, but they easily could go defense such as Jalen Walker, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green. I think they definitely should look to go defense more in this draft, but I feel like if Tedor McMillan falls in your lap after you trade down, you have to go Tedor McMillan just to pair with those receivers. And if you guys plan on drafting a quarterback later in my mock, which we will probably get to later. Now with the Cowboys on the board, they're going to keep their boy. He's going to stay in Texas. I got them going Matthew Golden. I was going to have them go Omari and Hampton, but I feel like Omari and Hampton isn't going to go at 12. But hey, man, Cowboys and Jerry Jones have done crazier things. I do have them going Matthew Golden. He could be a high-end receiver too, obviously pairing with CeeDee Lamb and others. I think Matthew Golden has the potential to be a really good receiver, and pairing him with CeeDee will make his job easier. He'll be playing cornerback 2s, maybe some cornerback 3s. So with that being said, I think Matthew Golden to the Cowboys is just a home run pick. Honestly, I personally, if I'm being honest, I like Emeka Ibuka better than Matthew Golden. Not saying he's a better player, but I just like him as a better prospect, in my opinion. But I have them keeping their hometown kid in Texas. I have them going Matthew Golden. Now, as far as I have the Dolphins selecting Jalen Walker. He's just a great player who could pretty much do anything you want. He could pair with Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and others over there. I could also see him going D-tackle to finally replace the whole of Christian Wilkins, or maybe even go corner in Will Johnson if he falls, or maybe Jahade Barron. I probably said his name, Jahade Barron. Why am I saying his name wrong? But you know what I mean, if they trade Jalen Ramsey. But I have him going Jalen Walker. I feel like their defense does need help. He's the best player available. But I truly could see him also going maybe like Nick, or maybe another safety like Malachi Starks with them losing Javon Holland. But either way, I think the Dolphins are going defense in Jalen Walker. I feel like he's the best player on the defense, hypothetically, for a top 13 pick with potential-wise. But in my opinion, I feel like Malachi Starks could easily go number 13. I feel like Malachi Starks is a home run pick. I'm such a Malachi Starks fan, but I think Malachi Starks or Jalen Walker could go here. The only way I think the Dolphins don't go Jalen Walker here is if Will Johnson falls, or maybe a player like Nick, or basically anybody. I feel like the Dolphins are going anyone on defense. All right, so we're back, guys. I was trying to fix my camera, see where it goes. Now, this is where I think Tyler Warren goes. I think a pairing another player on the Colts will make Anthony Richardson's job easier. I am a Gators fan, so I love Anthony Richardson. I can never disrespect him. He doesn't have that many years as an actual quarterback because, with him being always taken out, being benched and stuff for games, which I understand, he hasn't been the best quarterback. I think if you get a player like Tyler Warren and maybe some more offensive talent, if Anthony Richardson doesn't ball this year, I could definitely see the Colts going quarterback next year. But I have them going Tyler Warren, which is obviously, in my opinion, obviously also in this website's opinion, the best tight end in the class. So, with that being said, I have them selecting Tyler Warren, man. I think he could be a great player. He's going to be a great player no matter if he goes to the Colts or not. So, with that being said, I do have the Colts going Tyler Warren. I think that would be a home run pick, maybe to pair with Anthony Richardson. And maybe Tyler Warren could be like a player who helps Anthony Richardson get to that next level as a quarterback. So I think that's a home run pick there. I was going to say picking for the Falcons is easy. It's going to be easily defense. But when they took Michael Penix top 10, man, so obviously they could go any direction here. It says their first need is a corner. I don't think they're gonna go Barron here. I feel like that's kind of early, even though he's projected to go 22 and we're at pick 15. I just don't think he's gonna go here. I think they are gonna go edge. My more thing is, who are they gonna go as edge? I know people like Mike Green, people like Michael Williams, Nick Sorensen, but I'm actually gonna have them go Shamar Stewart. I know he's like the highest DN available, but I also could see him going Michael Williams because they always draft Georgia players. I think Shamar Stewart is just another good player to pair on that D line, man. Get that D line in the direction they want to go. I'm kind of sad that James Pierce had it down here because before the NFL drafts, he's projected a top 3, top 5 picks. So with that being said, I do think they're going to go defense. I think the next 3 picks are going to honestly be defense. So with that being said, I feel like the Falcons are going to start a little trend right here on edge rushers because I do have the Cardinals going to edge rusher, and I do have them selecting a player in Michael Williams. I do think he has better potential than Mike Green, so I feel like the Cardinals are going to go off potential. And then, bro, Georgia D linemen, bro, they're just good, bro. I don't remember the last time Georgia has had a first-round DN that has been a bust. Let me try to think off the top of my head. I can't really think of anyone, and I don't think Michael Williams is going to be one here. I think the Cardinals are a team that could go anywhere on defense as well because they're kind of slowly building up that team. But I definitely think Michael Williams will be a home run pick for the Cardinals. I just feel like he's a great player, and if you want to start building that defense up, Michael Williams is one of the foundations you should have if you could get him. So I obviously have the Cardinals going Michael Williams. It says their biggest need is edge. Obviously, with them maybe trading Trey Hendrickson, hopefully they work it out because he's a really good player as well. I feel like they will probably go edge if they don't have Trey Hendrickson, but I feel like they honestly need DBs, to be honest. I know they got players like DJ Turner. They have players like Cam Britt. They have players like Jordan Battle. I'm trying to think of names off the top of my head. But I do think they could either go a player like Nick or Malachi Starks, or maybe even Derek Harmon. Maybe if they want to pair Derek Harmon with Chris Jenkins. I do think they definitely need a D end here. Now is the thing, I'm not really high on Mike Green, if I'm being honest with you. I do think they need an edge rusher for sure, though. So do I want to have them go there, or should I have them reach on Nick Sorensen? I'm going to play the safe game. I'm going to have them go Nick. I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Iminawari, I think is how you pronounce it. I just genuinely think he's a phenomenal talent. He's a really good player. I feel like he's one of those players who can play corner in DB, or safety, I mean. So with that being said, I have them going a physical freak with Nick out of South Carolina, bro. He's a great safety. I feel like they could go edge in the second round. I feel like there's a lot of depth edges you could go in the second round and not be sad. So with that being said, we have the Seahawks up here. Their biggest need is offensive linemen. So it says, do I have them going offensive linemen? I don't really think so. It does say they need receiver and edge. I do want to take an offensive lineman for them, but my thing is I just don't think they're really high in offensive linemen like everyone would be having that mock too. I know players like Tyler Booker available. We got players like Josh Simmons available. Center's not really nobody really good. Do I want to have him take Tyler Booker? I don't think so. I'm going to have him take a player like... I'm going to have him take Mike Green. I feel like Mike Green is really just a good player here at 18. I know I didn't have him had 1, 2, 3, basically like a lot of defensive players ahead of him. But I feel like the Seahawks can take a player like Mike Green. They could play him on the D lineman. I think he'll be a really good D lineman for them. And he could be a good, not rotation piece, because you don't want to have just draft a rotation piece at first round. But I feel like he could build in that defense. But the Seahawks are a really good team at building defenders and people on defense. So I feel like Mike Green is a really good pick here for the Seahawks. Now for the Bucs also need defense, cornerback, safety. And with Malachi Stark still available, and other players available such as Barron and other people, I'm going to actually have them trade with the Rams. You're probably like, why would I have them trade with Rams? Per my memory, the Rams have always been trying to trade up for a good tight end. The Rams have always been trying to trade up for a good tight end. They were really trying to get at Brock Bowers last year. Unfortunately, they were not able to get Brock Bowers. So I'm gonna have them trade with the Bucks. The next two teams after the Bucks, Broncos, and Chargers. I mean, no, it's not right after the Broncos, but could easily go tight end, and I'm a Broncos fan, so I could easily see him going Colson Loveland. But I definitely feel like the Rams are a team that could try to trade up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just to make sure they get a tight end. Maybe they finally let Sean McVay go all in and get a tight end that he wants. And I feel like Colson Loveland would be a great player in the Rams that fill with offense with Kyron Williams. They have Devontae Adams out there, Puka Nacua out there. They have so many good players out there. They obviously have Matthew Stafford. I'm going to actually have the Rams go Colson Loveland. He's projected to go 17, but he's going to get to 19 on my board, and then the Rams are going to go Colson Loveland. Sean McVay gets his tight end, and now we're at the Broncos, my favorite team. Listen, guys, if I'm being honest, I definitely want us to go receiver Emeka Ibuka. Well, we go receiver Rebecca. I seen that the Broncos are interested in maybe taking a receiver or running back in the second round and go BPA with first round, which hypothetically would be Derek Harmon. Obviously we could go running back. I've seen a lot of running backs mocked for us, such as Quinshawn, Trayvon, Omarion. But I truly think if I'm the Broncos, I would try to trade back in a situation like this. Try to trade back with a team maybe like the Packers. I feel like they might try to get in front of the Steelers if they see a player like Derek Harmon available out of Ohio. I said Ohio State. Wow, out of Oregon. So I'm gonna have them give up pick 23 and the 54 for the Broncos first rounder. The Broncos will still be able to get a player, with pick 23. Maybe they even try to trade down again. But I'm gonna have the Packers go Derek Harmon, D tackle out of Oregon, a great player that could build their defense around. Now the Steelers are gonna feel slighted. They're gonna be like, damn. Hypothetically, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Have Aaron Rodgers in this mock eventually. Obviously, the Steelers could go quarterback here. Obviously, the D tackle just went off the board. I feel like they still could go D tackle. Maybe a player like Walter Nolan. Yeah, I said his name right. I don't know why in my brain I thought I said it wrong, but I'm gonna have them go Walter Nolan. I feel like he's another great D tackle in this class. Just a great player. Now the Chargers are sitting in their hands. They're like, fuck, 2 D tackles just went off in front of us. Our number one need according to this website is D tackle. I feel like this is where the Chargers are going to go receiver here. Now it's the thing of what receiver could they go? Should they go Emeka Ibuka, Luther Burden, or can they even go corner and Jahad Barron, which is another player that could go? Obviously, they need offensive center. I don't think a center is going to go here too. With the Chargers, man, I know they really want receiver. I can see them going receiver. Truly, I can. I'm going to have the Chargers select Jahad Barron right here. I feel like that's just a great player, man. They need corner. I know they have Tarheeb Steele, Derwin James. They have the other rookie corner, Cam Hart. I feel like Jahad Barron would be a great player to put on the Chargers right here. And now the Broncos are available. I don't think they wait anymore. They did get a second round pick. I have them going receiver here. I think they're going to take Emeka Ibuka, which is my favorite receiver prospect in the class. I love Tet. I just don't think the Broncos are going to get Tet. So with that being said, I have them going my favorite prospect. I really want Emeka Ibuka out of Ohio State, man. Ohio State is receiver one factory. I feel like that's going to work. And as far as the Vikings go, I don't think it's another home run pick than this. Malachi Starks, like I said, I've been raving about Malachi Starks this whole mock draft video. I think Malachi Starks is genuinely like a phenomenal athlete, bro. Like he's one of those players, bro. I'm a huge fan of Malachi Starks. I can't lie. Now we're at the Texans. It says they need offensive tackle. I'm looking at the board here. According to my mock, I have Josh Simmons is the best offensive tackle left. Obviously, they could go a player like Tyler Booker, which is what I'm going to have them take is Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is a phenomenal guard. They did lose Kenyon Green, so I feel like that's just a player they could replace for Kenyon Green. So I have them going Tyler Booker. Now for the Bucks. The Bucks need cornerback, safety, and edge. They did trade down in my hypothetical mock. There's still a good edges available. Nick Sorensen, James Pierce. Obviously, they got Jahad Campbell, which is who I'm going to have them take. I think Jahad Campbell, I'm a huge fan. If the Broncos didn't need a receiver or running back, I would be on the Jahad Campbell train. But unfortunately, we don't need linebacker. We signed Drake Greenlaw. Shout out to the Broncos. Shout out to Drake Greenlaw for coming to Denver. You feel me? I fuck with it. Heavy. I have the Buccaneers just going defense. I feel like they just need defense. Their offense is pretty good. Maybe they could try to go receiver in the second round because, the receivers are getting older and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. But I love Mike Evans. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt. So with that being said, now we are on the Baltimore Ravens. It says the quarterback, offensive guard. I'm going to have the Ravens reaching on James, not reaching because I don't mean to disrespect James Pierce, but I'm having to go James Pierce. James Pierce is a phenomenal player. Didn't have the year that everyone was expecting. I truly thought he was going to be a top 10 pick before this college football season, this NFL season this year. Honestly, if you look up a lot of preseason mocks, you definitely will see James Pierce in the top 10. So I'm going to have them go James Pierce, just a phenomenal edge, just to make that defense even more scary. And they're going to take James Pierce a pick before the Lions. And now I'll have the Lions going to DN as well. Nick Sorensen, best DN available, says their number one need is edge. Obviously, you want to put someone with Aiden Hutchinson when he gets healthy. I hope he gets healthy because all the double teams go to Aiden Hutchinson. So if you have another phenomenal edge in Nick Sorensen who could make Aiden Hutchinson's job easier, boom. And then it will make Nick Sorensen's job easier. Basically, it would just be beneficial to have two good DNs. So with that being said, I have the Lions go Nick Sorensen, DN out of Texas A&M. And now we're on the Commanders. Commanders are a team right here that I can see going running back, honestly, in the first round. I don't think they will go running back in the first round unless it is Omarion Hampton. Unfortunately for them, Omarion Hampton is available. And honestly, I'm going to have the Commanders go Omarion Hampton. I feel like running back would make Jaden Daniels' job so easier. I know they got players like Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, but a real good running back that they could maybe be their franchise running back in Omarion Hampton. I feel like that is the pick right here. So with that being said, I have them going Omarion Hampton. I would love for the Broncos to get him, but hypothetically in my mock, it's just unfortunately not going to happen. I have the Broncos going to Mike Ibuka. So with that being said, I have the Commanders going running back, make Jaden's job easier. Just another phenomenal offensive piece for them. And I see them going defense heavy in the second draft. Now we are on the Buffalo Bills. It says they need D tackle, edge, receiver, offensive tackle, and linebacker. I've seen a lot of people have Siobhan Revel go here, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. I'm going to have a trade here, guys. I was trying to think about it. I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills trade down in this pick. I'm going to have the New York Giants trade up. And you already know who I'm going to have the Giants take. I'm going to have the Giants trade up with the Buffalo Bills here. I'm going to have them give up. I don't know what the exact trade details are going to be, but I'm going to have them just give up these two picks just to make it happen. I don't know exactly what the trade details are going to be, but I'm going to have the Giants trade up. I can see maybe the Browns trying to trade up, even though I don't think they need to. I'm going to have the Giants selecting Jalen Milroe, quarterback. They get Travis Hunter earlier in the first. They get their quarterback in Jalen Milroe. Hopefully, Jalen Milroe could be a phenomenal player. I think he has the potential to be a phenomenal player. We all know his scrambling ability. He has a nuke of an arm. I just feel like that's a slam. I feel like if Jalen Milroe has the potential to be the best quarterback in the class. Call me a Glazer. Call it what you want. Jalen Milroe's a dog. The Giants get a good quarterback there. Now we are on the Chiefs. It says they need D tackle, offensive guard, and edge. I'm going to have them go Gray Zabel. I do think Gray Zabel is a first-round pick as a guard, as an interior offensive lineman. I feel like North Dakota State is going to produce a first-round pick in Gray Zabel. I'm going to have the Cardinals go there. I said the Cardinals go there. I'm going to have him go to the Chiefs. They lost Joe Thuney. So with that being said, I'm going to have him replace Joe Thuney with Gray Zabel. Now we're on the Eagles. Whoever the Eagles take here is going to be a future first-round Hall of Famer at this point. So it's just a matter of the fact, who do I think they could go? Their defense is really good. Their offensive line is good. I think they could take a player right here in Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant is a stud. I truly think he could be a phenomenal player, and I just think he's really good. So I'm going to have the Browns here go. I really wanted to drop the Browns a quarterback here. I don't think they're going to go quarterback, though. I think they are cool with just having a mediocre quarterback for just this year. And then next year they'll go all in on quarterback. I had them take Abdul Carter in the first round. It says they really do need quarterback. I do want to have them take Jackson Dart, but I just don't think it's going to happen, bro. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, bro. I don't know, bro. I'm trying to think, y'all. Fuck it. I have the Browns take Jackson Dart. I have the Steelers, hypothetically, like I said, guys, going with a player as, you know what I'm saying. I had the Steelers say what I said. I had the Steelers going. Who did I have the Steelers take first? I had the Steelers taking Walter Nolan. I do think the Steelers are going to get Aaron Rodgers. Unless he retires, then my mock is good because the Steelers are going to go quarterback first round no matter who it is. I'm going to have the Bills right here take Luther Burden, a receiver. I know they have bigger needs, but Luther Burden with Josh Allen would just be honestly amazing. I can't make that up a better pick. Luther Burden, they get a steal. Luther Burden easily could go be a top 15, top 20 pick in the first round. He hypothetically falls the second round in my mock draft. I have the Buffalo Bills going Luther Burden to start the second round with the second pick in the second round for that means. Now this is the Titans need a receiver. We obviously had them go Cam Ward with the Titans, so obviously they don't need quarterback hypothetically in my mock. If we go to receivers, there's not a lot of good receivers available. Obviously Trey Harris, but that's early for Trey Harris. Maybe a player like Jaden Higgins could go. I said Jaden Higgins. Yeah, Jaden Higgins. That's the person I'm thinking of. Or maybe even Jalen Noel goes. But I don't think the Titans will go receiver here. I think they probably would just go best player available here. And honestly, in my opinion, my humblest opinion, the best player available here would be a player like Donovan, bro. He's a phenomenal edge. Don't even try to have me pronounce his last name because that's not happening. He's a really good player. Boston College has produced a lot of great players lately. Justin Simmons, for one, that's one of my favorite safeties. I thought he was the best safety in the NFL when he was with the Broncos. Definitely was biased, but Donovan's another great player out of Boston College, so I feel like that could happen. And Jags, I had them going Mason Graham in the first round. They need tight end, they need corner, they basically need everything on defense. Honestly, even though it doesn't say linebacker, safety here, they need help on defense. They need receiver here too. I don't think a receiver is gonna go here. They could go Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. I don't think they will. I think a player that could go here is a tight end, man. Mason Taylor could honestly go here. I'm a huge Mason Taylor fan. I honestly don't think they will go Mason Taylor here. I'm going to have them go Xavier Watts. He's honestly just a really good safety. I could see teams making a case for him to go in the first round. I think they're just going to go a lot of positions on defense. They definitely need help on the defensive aspect. So I have them going a player like Mason Watts. I said Mason Watts. I'm looking at Mason Taylor. Xavier Watts. He's honestly just a phenomenal player, bro. Like I said, I could see him going first. So now we're on the Raiders. I had the Raiders take Shedeur Sanders in the first round. And this is where I think my player right here, like Siobhan Revel, could go. But I'm actually going to have him take Tyleik Williams, just a player who they could pair with Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins. Just build a nasty Raiders D-line that, the Raiders like to have. Tyleik Williams could easily go in the first round. I easily could see the Broncos taking him in the first round, to be honest, because the Broncos are huge fans of Tyleik Williams. I'm a huge fan of Tyleik Williams. So I have them going Tyleik Williams. Had the Patriots go a player. Had the Patriots go offensive lineman Will Campbell, so they don't need offensive tackle. I was thinking about maybe having them double up. I don't think that they are going to do that. I'm going to actually have the Titan. I said the Titans. Jesus, my brain is cooked right now. I'm going to have the Patriots go receiver. I'm going to have them go a player like Jaden Higgins. I know it's kind of a reach, but he just gives me an opinion of Patriots receiver. A big receiver, runs a 4.4 40. I feel like it would be a phenomenal pick for the Patriots. The Patriots, I feel like, honestly go offense every position in this draft. So with that being said, we are on the Bears now. In my mock, I had them take Ashton G&T. It says they need offensive tackle. I can see them going to a player like Josh Simmons, I really like their offensive lineman. I truly think they should go edge before they go offensive lineman, but they have another pick coming up at 41. So I feel like they are fine going with the edge, later. So I'll have them select Josh Simmons just in case a player like Austin Jackson, I think his name is, gets hurt because, he has injuries concerns, just want to have good offensive linemen, and Josh Simmons could be a star in this league. I truly believe it. He's out of Ohio State. Ohio State produced great players. He's a good tackle. Boom, there you go. Now we're back on the Saints. I had the Saints. Who did I have the Saints taking the first round? I had them take Ted McMillan, which was a receiver, excuse me. It says their biggest need is an offensive guardman. Do I go to Ohio State's offensive lineman in a row? I don't think they will. I think this is where they go defense. I have them selecting a player who I really am a big fan of. I think Landon Jackson is phenomenal. I have him going Landon Jackson, a player who could suck up all the advice from a player. I'm drawing blank on the dude's name. Hold up. What's bro's name? What's bro's name from the Saints? Oh, what's bro's name from the Saints? I'm drawing a blank. What's the dude's name from the Saints? The DN, bro. He's been there his whole career. Oh, fuck. What's bro's name? I'm drawing blanks. It's like right there. What's the dude's name on the Saints? I'm drawing a blank. Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank right now. Bro, what's bro's name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh my god. Hold up. Cameron Jordan, bro. How do I forget that? I don't know how I just drew a blank, but I have the Saints going here. Landon Jackson can suck up all the advice and information he needs from a player like Cameron Jordan. Cam Jordan, whatever you want to call him. Landon Jackson is a phenomenal player. I feel like they would go a player like Landon Jackson just so the Bears will get him, because I don't think Landon Jackson or a good DN will be here at 43. I feel like Landon Jackson could honestly make a case for a late first rounder, but I have the late Landon Jackson going pick 40. And now the Bears are back on the board. I feel like they do need DN. They do need DB. Benjamin Morrison honestly could play safety for them. I'm going to have them go Benjamin Morrison. I feel like he'll be a phenomenal player. just to maybe play cornerback and safety. So with that being said, I do have them going Benjamin Morrison. They don't have an edge rusher here. I don't know if they have another second round pick. I don't think they do. I feel like they could get a solid edge in the third round. So I do have them going Benjamin Morrison. Just a phenomenal player out in Notre Dame. So same thing with the same story as who else did I have go here? Xavier Watson. Notre Dame has been producing some great defensive talent. Now we're here on the Jets. The Jets, we have them go obviously one of the best tackles, which is Armand Membu. This next best D tackle is T.J. Saunders. Do I think he will go here? I don't. It says the Jets need receiver, tight end, and quarterback. I am going to have them going to tight end here. I'm going to have them reach in to an extent because he's projected 44. They're at 42. I have them go Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor is a phenomenal player. I'm a huge Mason Taylor fan. It says the Bears just repaid T.J. Edwards. Okay, that doesn't really affect this mock. So Bears retiring T.J. Edwards. Good for them. Now we are on the Saints, bro. I had the Saints take a lot of good players here. I had them take Ted McMillan. I had them take what? Who did I have the Saints just take? I have them take Landon Johnson. So ignore. Basically, they need cornerback, they need running back, and they need offensive guard. And with that being said, I'm gonna have them take a player like Donovan Jackson. I feel like that would be a phenomenal player to put. The Saints are just killing this draft. I know they do need a quarterback, but I don't think they're going to take a player like Quinn Ewers or Tyler Stroud or Will Howard or Dylan Gabriel. I feel like they will probably take a quarterback later. They might just run a back with Spencer Rattler, honestly. Now we're on the Cowboys. I do think they're going to double up on offense 2 rounds in a row. I'm going to have them select a running back in Trayvon Henderson. I know that affects the Broncos. So now y'all know I'm not trying to make it where the Broncos have the best mock in the draft. Now y'all see it. Have them going Trayvon Henderson. I feel like he's a really good running back. If he can stay healthy, phenomenal pick for them. Phenomenal pick. It doesn't get much better than that. So I'm going to have him go Trayvon Henderson. And if you know Colts, Chris Balke, I don't even know if that's his first name, but he loves his DBs. And I'm going to have them go Siobhan right here. I can honestly see them going Maxwell Harrison. I love Maxwell Harrison. I'm going to have them go Siobhan Revel here. Just a great corner, a physical corner. He gets in the receiver's grill, and he plays good football. So with that being said, now we are on the Cardinals. I had the Cardinals. I had them go James Pierce. No, I had them go Micah Williams. My bad. I was on the Ravens. I had them go an edge in the first round. Oh, wait, we're on the Falcons. Right back, Turbo. I'm going to have the Falcons go here go Maxwell Harrison. He's just a really good corner as well, man. I feel like he could be one of the steal DBs of the draft. I have them going Maxwell Harrison with this pick. So I have them going Maxwell Harrison. Honestly, I just feel like the Falcons need defense. So just keep throwing the dart at the bulletin board. One of these got to hit. Same thing with the Cardinals, man. They're kind of in a similar situation with the Falcons, in my opinion. I'm going to have them going defense as well. I did have them take Micah Williams. I don't think they're going to double up on edge. D-tackle T.J. Saunders is available. I feel like that would be a reach. If we're looking at linebacker, I don't think there will go anyone here. A big linebacker I'm a fan of is Jay Higgins. I don't think he will go, obviously, in the second round. But, teams reach. A good safety. I don't think they're going to go safety here. I do think they're going to go corner here. I'm going to have them go a player like Trey Amos. Amos, whatever you want to call him. He's a great player. They get a corner. I feel like these two teams are going to be kind of fighting against each other to make picks because they kind of have they're in a similar situation. Now, as far as the Dolphins go, I don't think I had them go offensive lineman in the first round. I don't think I did. Did I have them go offensive lineman in the first round? I couldn't tell you. I don't think I had them go offensive lineman in the first round. I couldn't tell you who I had them go. I did have them go Jalen Walker in the first round. They do need offensive linemen, and I think this is where they go offensive linemen. I think they're going to take a player like Josh Connolly out of Oregon. He runs it like he's used to like pro fast-paced offense. Dolphins are a pro fast-paced offense. I feel like that's just a home run pick as well. Now we're back on the Bengals. I do think the Bengals are going to go defense, bro. The Bengals need help. Anywhere on defense, they could get it. I'm going to have them select a player like JT, bro. JT is a great player. I was debating between him and Princely. I don't think they're going to go Princely. I think JT would be the better player, and he has more name value actually coming out of Ohio State, not anything to do with Ole Miss. I feel like, honestly, the Bengals are going to go anywhere on defense. I feel like they're another team who's just going to throw the bulletin or the dart at the bulletin board, and if it lands on defense, boom, bow, they're done. But I also can see them doubling up on DB, but I do think they need to get an edge rusher. I think he will be a sound edge rusher to maybe pair Trey Hendrickson if they get that situation worked out, or to replace Trey Hendrickson. Now we are on the Seahawks. I know for a fact I didn't have the Seahawks go offensive lineman in the first round, I don't think, if I don't remember. Yeah, I had them go Mike Green. It still says they need offensive guard. I don't think they go offensive guard. I can see them going receiver. I don't think they will go offensive receiver, though. Jonah is honestly a really good option, so is Wyatt. You know what? I'm going to have the Seahawks go Jonah. He's a really good player. He's sound. He's a good pass blocker, solid run blocker. I wish the Seahawks would use Kenneth Walker more. Jonah is just a great player to fill on off his line. Now we're just trying to fill names and holes. Now we're on the Broncos, my favorite team. The player I do want them to draft. I had them go Emeka Ibuka in the first round. I'm gonna have them go running back. I do think they're gonna go heavy on offense this year. I'm gonna have them select Quinshawn, man. I seen people want the Broncos to go Caleb. I personally want Quinshawn. Since his days at Ole Miss, I think he's a great player. Quinshawn is he's a really good player. The Broncos go running back first round. I'll be cool. Broncos go receiver first round, cool. And they still have another second rounder because in my mock I had them trade down with the Packers, so we can see what happens with them. Now the Seahawks are back on the clock. They have 2 second rounders as well. I just had them go an offensive guard man. I feel like theirs is now where they could go a player like Jaden Higgins or a player. I forgot how Jaden Higgins go. I feel like they could go receiver here. And honestly, I really like Seahawks receiver. I could see them going. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I could see the Seahawks going to a player like Eric. He had a really good game against Travis Hunter, man. He's a big receiver, not the fastest, but he's a really good receiver. I feel like the Seahawks can get a solid receiver here to pair with JSN. They did obviously lose Locke and DK, so I feel like he's a good player to play. Then now we're back on the Bucks. I had them go defense in the first round. I'm gonna have them go defense again, bro. I feel like the Bucks offense is pretty smooth. They just need help on defense. I think I had them go DB in the first round. Or no, I had them go linebacker Jahad Campbell. That was a great pick for them. I'm going to have them go DB here. My thing is, what DB do I feel like they could go on? And a DB I really like for them. I like Darian Porter. I do like Darian Porter. I like Kobe Bryant. Obviously, I don't think he's going to go here, though. But I'm going to have them go Andrew Mukuba. I'm bad at pronouncing names. DB out of Texas. Very fast. Flies around the field quick. I feel like that's the player that you could pair with on Whitfield as a good safety. Good safety deal. He could teach Andrew everything he knows. I'll be a nasty safety deal in a few years. Broncos are back on the board. I had the Broncos go receiver and running back in the first round. Honestly, you can see the Broncos training back again, which might not be a bad possibility. But looking at this draft, I don't see a lot of talent here. The Broncos could go. I had them go running back receiver. It says they do need a linebacker, cornerback, and tight end. I don't think they will go corner here. I could see the Broncos trying to acquire a 3rd round pick, but we are not having a 3rd round in this draft, so I do want to get the Broncos a pick. I could see them trading back and trying to get a player like Jaden Higgins. This is such a hard pick to pick for right now. But I'm actually going to have the Broncos go offense again, but I'm going to have them go tight end. I'm a big fan of Harold. I'm a big fan of Gunnar Helm. I can see them honestly taking Terry Ferguson just because he's from Oregon, man. But a player I'm going to have them take right here, I'm going to have them go Harold, bro. I don't know what happened with Harold. I can't honestly tell you why his draft stock went down, but unfortunately for him, it did. And as far as the Chargers go, I had them go – who did I have them go first round? I had them go corner right. I could see them going offense here. They definitely need offense on their board. They definitely need offensive talent in the room. They went Jahad Barron in my first round. So I'm going to have them go receiver here. Now the thing is, who do I have them go? According to this, the best receiver available is Trey Harris. I don't truly agree with that. I'm going to have them go with a player like Jalen Noel. Just honestly a field stretcher. He can stretch the field for them. I feel like he would be a great pairing with Ladd and others. I think they brought Mike Williams back, so I feel like Jalen Noel could be a sponge for information out of Mike Williams. So Jalen Noel, I have him going to the Chargers. I could also see them going to tight end if tight end is available. I will be right back. We are back. I'm here with the Buffalo Bills. I had the Buffalo Bills go trade down in the first and get Luther Burden in the early second. Right here, I can see them definitely going defense. I'm going to have them go corner. Their cornerback room has been pretty banged up. I know players like some people are high on Thomas. I'm just not one of those people. I think he's all right. But I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills making kind of a reach right here. I know he's projected to go later. But I'm going to have them go Darian Porter. I'm a big fan of Darian Porter. I do think he's better than Thomas. I feel like he's just better at guarding number 1 receivers. Thomas sometimes struggles to tackle. When you're going against receivers like Jalen Waddle 2 times a year, Tyreek Hill 2 times a year, maybe if the Patriots get a good receiver in the draft, they're going to have to go against him. I feel like Darian Porter is a better physical corner for what he's learned at Ohio State. And the Bills can honestly double up on DB. They got another pick in the second round because they didn't lose that. So I have the Panthers right here. Now this is where the Panthers go receiver. I think they're going to take a player like Trey Harris. Trey Harris to fall for Trey Harris stops now. I feel like the Panthers are just going to take whoever they think is the best receiver available. And for me in this mock, it's Trey Harris. I definitely think the Panthers could go receiver first round and go DB here or D tackle here. But I have them going Trey Harris. I feel like the best bang for their buck is to get Trey Harris right here. So now we are on the Texans. I had them go offensive tackle if I'm not mistaken. I had them go Josh Simmons if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Let's find the Texans on here. I definitely think I had them. Oh, I had them take Tyler Booker. So they went offensive guard early. I could honestly see them doubling down on offensive tackle. But I'm going to have them going. After thoughts, I'm gonna have them double up on offensive linemen, bro. They lost a lot of offensive linemen. They traded Laramie Tunsil, which I don't think the Texans will go offensive lineman here, honestly. But they traded Laramie Tunsil, which was a crazy move. Shout out to the Commanders, bro. That was a steal if I've ever seen it. But I just honestly think the Texans need offensive linemen, so I'm gonna mock them to offensive linemen. Now for the Ravens, I'm struggling to pick either Tate Rutledge or Wyatt. I feel like Wyatt is a safer pick, so I'm gonna have them go Wyatt just to make their offensive lineman stronger. I had the Lions go edge in the first round. It says they need offensive guard, and this is where I'm gonna have Tate Rutledge go. The run on offensive lineman right here, as you guys can see, 3 offensive linemen in a row. Tate Rutledge could easily be our early second round pick, but I just feel like I just don't think he will. I feel like Tate Rutledge is one of those players that can easily fall, and you want your team to draft him in the 3rd round. But in my mock, he doesn't fall, and I'm gonna have T.J. Saunders go here, man. We're just gonna start the line on big boys. T.J. Saunders is a really underrated player out of South Carolina Gamecocks, so I feel like the Commanders, with them losing players like Jonathan Allen to the Vikings, I feel like that's just a phenomenal player to pair with Deron Payne. So I got them going T.J. Saunders. Now Bills are back on the board. They had them go receiver, and I had them go cornerback. It says they need linebacker. I don't think they're going to go Carson, if I'm being honest. I think they could go a player like Brady Swinson, who is honestly a good pick. Will they go him? No. I think they're honestly going to go with a player like... Who do we have left on our board? I'm trying to think. Guys, after looking at it, I'm not going to lie. I think I found the player I wanted them to take. I'm going to have them take Josiah Stewart. Just a great player. You could pair with the D-line they already have in Greg Rousseau. And they have, obviously, Matt Milano, which is an edge rusher. He's linebacker. Just a great player to pair on defense. Josiah Stewart could suck information out of them. Now the Chiefs are another team I think will go BPA. I think they're going to probably try to go DB with them losing Justin Reed. And a player I can see them taking is Thomas. I feel like if he falls to the end of the 2nd round and maybe into the 3rd round, the team will try to go up there and get him. I feel like he's a great DB to take out at FSU. Just a phenomenal player. Now with the Eagles, I had them go D lineman in the first pick. I had them take a D tackle. I don't think they will double up on tackle. I feel like they will go offensive lineman, and a player I could see them honestly taking maybe is Emory Jones at LSU. Unfortunately, I don't think Emory Jones will go here. Another offensive lineman I do think will go here, though, and he's a really good offensive lineman. He's honestly really slept on. He's honestly a really good player. I could see them going is a player like Marcus Membo out of Purdue. He's just a phenomenal player. That's going to wrap up my draft. I'm trying to show the full results. I feel like the Eagles are just going to build up the trenches. I had them go with someone else. I had them go Kenneth Green, but I feel like the first 5 picks are pretty much locks. Well, actually, I'll say the first 4 picks are pretty much locks. The Jags could go anywhere. That's just the thing. And as far as my 2nd round goes, any surprise picks, I had the Browns go Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss. He's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a quarterback that should go in the first rounds, but I think it will work. So I had how many quarterbacks go in this draft? In my first 2 rounds, I had obviously Jalen Milroe, so that's 1, 2, 3. I think I have 4 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds, which is pretty realistic. Obviously, a team could reach him, maybe be a fit quarterback towards one of these picks. Not saying one of these teams will, but a team will trade up. But let me know what y'all think on my mock draft. This is my mock draft. I might try to do one more, maybe just a 1-rounder like the day before the draft, bearing any big news. But yeah, this is my mock. Let me shrink myself so y'all can see a little better. I'll run it back one more time so you can see it. Just take a screenshot. Let me know how I did. We'll probably go look back at this after the draft just to see how ass it was or how good I was. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Yeah, this is my mock.